Hi, Kai. Hey, it's Coach Rob King here. Let's talk about footwear in the deadlift, okay? What is the best thing that you could wear on your feet? What should you wear on your feet when you deadlift? When you deadlift, for the most part, you can never go wrong with going barefoot, okay? I love barefoot training. I highly recommend barefoot training. I highly recommend deadlifts in barefoot. The only drawback with deadlifts in barefoot is, for sumo especially, it can sometimes be a little bit slippery. So if I'm on carpet here and I've got socks, you can see my feet are slipping, okay? I want to try to get my feet as dug into the ground and as grippy as possible. So my preference for deadlifting, especially sumo, is wrestling boots, all right? I've had these for many years now. You could also use Sabo as a good deadlift shoe. But anything, you have to make sure that it has to have a flat sole and a minimal sole, all right? This is very important. Often you see people will use Chuck Taylors. The only thing I don't like about Chuck Taylors is that they have about a 1 inch thick sole. That makes me have to pull the deadlift 1 inch further, all right? That could be not a big deal for some people, but for somebody who's lifting heavy as possible or at a high level, 1 inch difference in a deadlift is huge, okay? We do deficit deadlifts off 1 inch blocks to make them harder, because it's going to be harder. So there's no right or wrong when it comes to shoes, but I do recommend something that's going to be flat, something that's going to be grippy, and something that's going to be very comfortable, okay? So my preference is wrestling shoes. Sabos are very good. There's a whole bunch of other good deadlift shoes out there as well. Good lifts, I have those. Those are great as well. Chucks can be okay, but just make sure no running shoes, make sure nothing like that that has a padding or anything with a heel elevation. And if you have a heel elevation, it's going to push the knees forward more when you deadlift, and you're going to have a lot harder time getting your weight back towards the center of your foot. If you deadlift in running shoes, you're going to find the pad, all that padding, is going to really mess up you pushing the floor away and creating that strong ground contact, that rooting with the floor. So you never want to deadlift in sneakers, okay? When in doubt, barefoot, something flat, something with no sole, something with no padding, all right? That's what I recommend for deadlifts, and that's what I've seen most of the best deadlifters in the world use. So invest yourself in a good pair of deadlift shoes, or if you're going to go with flats, make sure you have socks or something that they do have some type of grip if possible, especially if you're a sumo puller.